Here we go. All ones. All right, today we're going to be cooking shrimp and grits. What you're going to need is shrimp. You're going to peel the shrimp and put the shells and the heads in a pot. We're going to make some shrimp stock with that. Andouille sausage. This is andouille sausage I made myself. Bacon. Cajun seasoning. I made my own Cajun seasoning. I don't put salt in it. So if you're using something like Sony Satura's, you're not going to want to put salt in it. I am, so I'm going to have salt. Grits. Flour. Milk. Cheese. And I can't remember if I said bacon. And over here I have Trinity. That's 1 bell pepper, 1 onion, and 3 celery stalks finely chopped. Oh, and don't forget the garlic. So we'll get started over here. We'll take the shrimp shells. Put the shrimp shells and some water in there. Gonna throw some salt. A little bit of Cajun seasoning. And I also have a bit of onion, celery, chopped up in there too, and a little bit of garlic. And there we go. I'm gonna move this over here, and this is going to be very delicious and give us a lot of flavor to the gravy later. Over here with the shrimp, what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw a little bit of Cajun seasoning on that, and we're gonna mix it up. So they're all kind of got a little bit of Cajun seasoning on them. This will add flavor into your shrimp. And we're going to put these in the refrigerator when we're done. So just a little bit more in there. Make sure you wash your shrimp before you put it in there. Otherwise it's just gross. Alright. Then we're going to put this in the refrigerator while we prepare everything else. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bacon and we'll render out the fat. You always want to cook more bacon than you need because you're going to eat some of it. Biggest thing right now is I don't want it to stick to the bottom, so kind of moving it around. So it'll grease the pan. Once that happens, we'll throw the sausage in. And that's ready. You know you're ready to throw the sausage in when the bacon's not sticking to the bottom of the pan anymore. And all the fat that we render out of this, we're going to be cooking a roux with. Like I said, always cook more bacon than you need. Because what you're going to do is you're going to wind up snacking on it and you're not going to have enough bacon. Throw our sausage in. Basically, we're just going to cook this until the bacon's cooked and a little crispy. I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Just a little update. The bacon and sausage is cooking down pretty good. You see how it has a little sticking to the bottom of the pan? That's good. That's good. That's called a gratin, and that's going to add a lot of flavor. We're going to deglaze that with the Trinity, and I'll show you when I do that. Okay. So we got our bacon and sausage pretty much done. It's nice and crispy, but not overly crispy. So we're going to take it out. One of these things is a little handy. Hopefully show you what that looks like. So I'm going to pull all this out. Alright, now that I got all the bacon out, I'm going to take this grease and all the fat I rendered out of the sausage and bacon, I'm going to put it in this cast iron pan for later. This is what we're going to make our roux in. And we also want to keep just a little in the pan over here. Sorry, that's a little smoky. There we go, perfect. Then we're going to throw our Trinity in there. Turn that heat down just a bit. throw a little salt in there to help it cook down. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. And this Trinity will help deglaze the bottom of that pan and bring out all the flavor of that bacon and sausage. And remember, always cook a little bit more bacon than you need because you're going to eat on it, like I'm doing right now. So as this cooks down, it's going to deglaze that pan, and I'll show you what that looks like when it starts deglazing. All right, now it's starting to deglaze. See how some of the juices of the Trinity are coming out? It's starting to take all that roux off the bottom of the pan here. Over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all the shrimp shells and veggies out of this shrimp stock. Well, you don't want to waste anything. Let's go over there to the side. And over here, as you can see, that bottom of that pan, all that roux is coming off the bottom of that pan. As Trinity cooks down. We're going to deglaze it is what it is. That's very important in the cooking process here. Okay, now that all this is cooked down and pretty much deglazed the pot, I'm going to throw my garlic in. So we're going to just let this cook until you start smelling that garlic flavor. So, if you cook your garlic too long, it becomes a little bitter. What I'm going to do over here is we're going to take a little bit of butter. We're not meant to throw it in there. We're going to take a little bit of butter. We're going to throw it in with our bacon grease and all our rendering. This will add a little creaminess to your gravy. And what we're going to do, hopefully I got that centered right. There we go. Gonna throw a little bit of, about the same amount of flour to oil. I've never seen it bubble like that before, but we'll get it going. A little bit more flour. When you do this enough times, you'll get the feel of like what you actually need. I don't measure anything. If you're watching any of my other cooking videos, you'll know that. And you don't need that dark of a roux. You want like a peanut butter roux. And I'll come back as I cook this. Alright, over here cooking the roux now. And you never walk away from a roux. You want a good peanut butter color on this. I might not use all this roux. But remember, the darker your roux, the more flavor you have. The lighter the roux, the more thickening you'll have. Just at the point it's starting to change a little bit of color. Still a little too light. You want just a little bit of like coffee color, a little bit of brick red. But we're almost there. And as I said before in some videos, never walk away from a roux. There we go. It's really starting to change color now. So we're going to pull this off. And we're going to put our Trinity back on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put roux in there. Hopefully you guys can see. to the side. And we're going to throw some of our shrimp stock made earlier in there. If I make a mess. And what we're going to want to do is just kind of stir that up and let it kind of come to a simmer. This will all thicken up here in just a second. We got it down on a low heat now. We got a gravy going. So now we're going to add in that sausage and bacon. We haven't put the shrimp in yet because the shrimp will cook really fast and they'll shrink and get rubbery if you cook them too long. So we're getting this going. Let's mix it up. Throw a little Cajun seasoning in there. You're going to want a little salt. And if this gets too thick, you can just add more shrimp stock to it. And we got it down on a low heat. We're just going to let it go. 2 cups of milk. And then 1 cup of shrimp stock. So I want to do about 3 cups to 2 cups of grits. And just kind of stir it together. And wait for that to come to a boil. Milk and shrimp stock is boiling. Just throw your grits in there, stir them, make sure they don't clump up. And make sure they don't stick to the bottom. Throw a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper, and just stir them. The main thing, you just don't want them to stick together is all. And these cook really fast. And you're starting to get there. I'm going to turn the heat down just a hair. You get it right about here. Throw your cheese in. I like a lot of cheese in mine. You don't have to throw as much as I do. So I'm actually going to move them off the heat over here. And make sure all that cheese gets mixed up in there and melted. That's going to add a lot of flavor. And you don't want little cheese clumps. Oh, snap. So, grits are done. We're going to set these off to the side. Now that they're done, you don't have to worry about them too much anymore. I'm just going to set them off camera. We're just going to blacken up these shrimp, not enough to cook them because they're going to cook in the gravy. So we're just letting them cook just a hair, flipping them. This will sear in that Cajun seasoning I put on them. And just flip them over. They're a little pink on both sides, and just put them in the shrimp with the gravy. Put that one down there. Alright, what we're going to do is bring you over here. Show you what's grabbing up in here. Throw them in there. We got all the shrimp seared. They're not cooked all the way through. So we're going to mix them in with our gravy. This is the very last thing you ever do. And they're going to cook in the gravy. The gravy's warm and hot, and they won't get rubbery, and they'll still have that Cajun seasoning seared into them. You can also use blacken seasoning. That's what I normally do. I'm just out. And get it mixed up real well. Let it cook just a little. We'll come back when the shrimp are cooked, and we're serving up some shrimp and grits. That's all done over here. Show you what that looks like. It's a little thick, but it's still good. And just slop it on over there. This is shrimp and grits. We got our bed of grits down there. I mix it up. Let's get a good bite. Probably going to wind up burning my mouth. Oh yeah, that's good.